So if you've known me for a while now, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Hamza. And if you don't know who Hamza is, well, he's a self-improvement YouTuber. He's been in the YouTube scene for years now, I think over 3 years. And he's a fantastic YouTuber. He makes amazing content, he always has. And he's been a huge role model for me, especially in making this YouTube channel and starting my self-improvement journey personally. But recently something has changed with Hamza and his channel and his kind of overall feel. And a lot of people are saying that he's become corporate. He's kind of lost that homely, authentic, down-to-earth feel. And you can just see this from his recent content. I mean, the whole branding's changed and everything's kind of geared towards becoming more commercialized. And I've seen comments on his recent posts and comments on his recent YouTube with a lot of people and a lot of his fans, including me, thinking the same thing. He seems to have lost that kind of magic feel that he had. If you've ever watched Hamza's videos, you'll know that he's this guy who works from his parents' house in his bedroom. And the reason why that's so nice is because it's so relatable to us. He had that relatable, authentic connection to me and to the rest of his audience, because just like him, we are just guys who are in our rooms living with our parents, or maybe we live, you know, with some uni mates or something like that, but we're all kind of broke and we're all just trying to make it. We're all just trying to improve ourselves and get ourselves out of this situation, whether that be financially or mentally or a bit of both. And Hamza was this guy who was kind of on the same level as us, or he felt like he was on the same level. He was in his bedroom, he was living in his parents' house, he was wearing a bathrobe, he didn't go out and spend loads of money, he didn't have the flashy cars, the fancy watch. He just made relatable, authentic content that we could really connect with, and that's why I feel like he was so successful. But like I say, recently he's pivoted and changed the way his channel looks and feels, and it feels a lot more corporate. It's more podcast focused, it's more high budget, and a lot of people are really upset about this. But really, I just want to talk about this because I'm a huge fan of Hamza, and I actually don't think what Hamza's done is a bad thing. I want to make it clear from the very start that I actually think this is a great move from Hamza, and if anything, it's a necessary move, and there's something that we can learn from this kind of move that Hamza's made. And I think it's a smart move, and I think I just want to provide you guys with a bit of value. So I'm going to kind of give you my interpretation of the change and why I think it's a good thing and what we can learn from it. Here's what you have to remember. Hamza stated that he wanted to scale his business. He's always talked about scaling his business. First, it was £1,000 a month that he made when he first started out on YouTube. Then he made £10,000 a month, and then he made his first £100,000 in a month. And now he wants to make $500,000 in December. And these are all massive goals, way ahead of like what I'm capable of doing right now, probably way ahead of what you're capable of doing right now. But these kind of goals and this kind of growth and this kind of mindset, it kind of requires that people pivot and change to this more corporate structure. This authenticity and this kind of down to earth, you know, parents' house, in the bedroom, bathrobe, that vibe is nice. That vibe is good for the people that were there, you know, in the early days like me. But he wants to expand, he wants to make his business bigger. So I think he's pivoting more towards podcast style, higher budget and more volume and a bit more like of a corporate kind of feel, if that makes sense. But that's kind of a necessary step. And the thing that we can learn from this that I really want to kind of drill into you and my opinion of it is that anytime you want to grow and level yourself up, and this doesn't have to be just with making money, this could be with the gym, this could be with your business, this could even be in your career. If you have a career that you're really dedicated towards, you can kind of do one thing for a long time. You do it the same way for a long time, and eventually you're going to get bottlenecked. And I think Hamza's kind of exhausted what he can achieve with the kind of down-to-earth, authentic bathrobe feel. Because look at all the big entrepreneurs out there. Look at Iman Gadzi, look at Elon Musk, look at Alex Hormozi, and all these like really big entrepreneurs that are making way more money than Hamza. None of them are wearing bathrobes and making videos from their bedroom anymore. There's a certain point where you kind of have to commercialize things, and that does come at the detriment of people like me and people that you see the comments from on his videos talking about how the magic has gone. He's lost that authentic feeling, you know, what's happened to the old Hamza. And I think it's just an important lesson to learn that if you do the same thing over and over again, that'll take you up to a certain point in life. Let's take this to a gym analogy, right? I always like doing this in these videos. I like relating it back to the gym because it's something that's relatable. You're probably going to the gym. It's like one of the first steps in self-improvement, right? You get to the gym and that's kind of where the whole journey begins. So we can always draw things back to the gym and lifting weights. So you go to the gym and, you might just start off like doing chest, right? Lots of people start off with the bench press and maybe training arms, and then you kind of stop seeing much gains after that. You kind of, use the same weight over and over, and you make a bunch of gains at the beginning, you're really fast progress, and then it kind of starts to slow down, and then eventually it just goes still because you're still using the same weight, it's still doing the same exercises. And then to actually progress and to get to that next level, to really up your training, you've got to start incorporating other exercises. You've got to accept the fact that you've got to train legs. You might have to do some more cardio to get more conditioned. You might have to up the weight. You might have to try a different style of training. It's like that saying, don't fix what's not broken. But if you want to, achieve great things and level up all the aspects of your life, then it doesn't necessarily have to be broken for you to fix it. It might just be that it's great the way it is now, but you've exhausted the growth potential of the way you're doing that thing. And what Hamza's doing is he is rebranding his entire channel. He's restructured the way the videos are. He's making it more podcast focused. And yeah, I understand it's kind of lost that authentic, relatable feel. But the truth is, Hamza isn't really relatable anymore, right? He's done so well and been so successful and set such a good example for people like me that it's now actually not really his job to be like a relatable, £1,000-2,000 a month kind of YouTuber, right? That's just a couple steps ahead of you. This is a guy who is now fully fledged into the sort of Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi kind of space. And if he wants to work and operate in that space, I can totally understand how he has to start pushing podcasts, pushing his Adonis school more, to actually hit those goals that he set for himself. And what we can learn from that is that everything in our life that we do, we can just do it the same way for a long time, get really good at that thing. But then when we want to break through to that next level, we'll have to change things up, do things in a more structured way. And it's just another person to learn from. So just keep in mind, if you're like a YouTuber or you're just creating something like a business, whatever it is, you can always learn from people like Hamza. Just think when you get to his level, if you get to his level of making £50,000-100,000 a month, dollars, whatever, a lot of money, full-on entrepreneur, making a bunch of money, right? This might seem really far away right now, and it's super far away from me, but it's certainly possible, right? Then you can start learning. Then Hamza will become more relatable again. You can kind of relate to the situation he's in. You'll be able to kind of understand why he's kind of pivoted into that. That's long-term thinking. And I'm sure that the decision Hamza's made here is going to work for him. But on the flip side, I can understand how people, and like me and his fan base, think that the authenticity has gone, the magic has gone, and you can't really connect with him anymore. But the whole point is, you're not really supposed to connect with him anymore. Hamza's super far ahead in his self-improvement journey, and his old videos that were relatable, they've not gone anywhere. You can always go back and watch them if you ever need a bit of a push, right, to keep going with things. But just remember, I think it's a good lesson to learn. Never just keep doing the same thing forever, right? Whether that's your 9-to-5 job, whether that's your training style at the gym, whether that's your YouTube channel, do what works, do it for a while, but then when it starts to plateau and level off, do something new and increase that thing again. A lot of the success that you hear about with these online entrepreneurs in terms of their business, it always kind of goes like this, right? They do something that's really good and goes viral, and they do really well, and it kind of slows off a bit, and then they start something else, then it goes, and it starts something else. And this is why people pivot from becoming a podcaster, then to doing films, and then to making their own film. Look at examples of a Markiplier. If you guys know who he is, you can look him up. He's a gaming YouTuber. He's super big. And he did YouTube for 10 years, got huge on YouTube, really popular. And then he started to kind of do some kind of shorter YouTube kind of films, and started doing more director stuff. And now he's breaking out and releasing his first full like film that's going to be in the cinemas. So that's kind of another interesting example. You know, this isn't just something that happens in the self-improvement space with like courses and that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of stigma around courses and people pushing them too much, but this happens everywhere. You know, other YouTubers start to become film directors, they start to get into boxing, they start to do all this stuff. So this is just what happens. People just have to break out and get out of that plateau. You know, Hamza's going from 100 to 150k a month to 500k a month. So although, yes, his new videos, I mean, I don't actually, you know, I like them, you know, get good advice from them, but I understand, you know, there's not that relatability, there's not that connection there, there's not that authenticity there. So I totally get why people are angry with Hamza, or just a bit disappointed, or kind of sad to see the old Hamza go, the bathrobe Hamza. But I think it's just a good lesson to learn, you know, never plateau in life, always push your boundaries, always try and see what is the next thing that I could do, but only sort of do that when the thing that you're doing has really slowed down, right? Don't change up stuff too quickly. You know, don't jump from business to business and idea to idea. Roll with something for 6 months or a year or 2 years. If it's going well, great, keep doing it. If it starts to slow down, think of the next thing. And I think that's how a lot of people's self-improvement journey will go. Anyway, guys, remember, just improve yourself by 1% every day and you'll get there. See ya.